Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Lexus IS350 F Sport. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sporty sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This F Sport is finished off in Grecian water. MSRP start in the mid $40,000 range, and underneath the hood is the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 paired to the 8-speed automatic, pumping out 311 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,800-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 144 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 20 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 110.2 inches. Its overall length is 185.4. It has a width of 72.4, a height of 56.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.5 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling for this F Sport model, you'll notice that we have a really nice color combo with the blue, all of the gloss black accents, as well as some of the brushed accents that you see on the wheels. Now, for the 24-year model, we don't have any significant changes, but we have a nice looking front end design with an hourglass design, finished off in gloss black, including the surround for it. And then the Lexus badge is also the sensor for the adaptive cruise. A lot of cutouts in that grille too to provide a lot of cooling, as well as the large inlets that are in the bottom section of it. Now, this also has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with that very iconic DRL with that crisp point running right to the middle of that hourglass design there. And then there's some really nice lines that come down the hood and even go off of the middle of that hourglass. So they go all the way to the base of the windshield there. Gives it a very sporty front end design for this F Sport model. Now, the F Sport model also provides it with the F Sport tuned suspension, as well as these very nice wheels that have the multi-spoke design to them. There's also the F Sport badge just behind that. And then for the side mirrors, we have 3 colors: body colored, gloss black, chrome, and then there's also the integrated turn signal. This does have a sunroof up top. All of the window trim is finished off in that brushed chrome to match all of the wheels. And then there's really nice lines that run down the side. There's one in the lower section there, as well as in the lower section of that front door, and then going right through those door handles, leading all the way to the back, where there's more gloss black for that trunk mounted spoiler. There's even the gloss black trim accent that runs right through the trunk lid from taillight to taillight. So we have the LED taillights with that dark housing, gives it a great look. More gloss black in the diffuser. There's the backup camera, all the sensors, and then the F Sport exhaust with a few fins in that diffuser, again, to give it more of that sporty design. Now, you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to open up this trunk lid, where being a sedan, this is a practical everyday daily driver. As you can tell, I have the back seats down at the moment. There's a little bit of that step up there, but it's still practical to put in some larger items. There's also the spare tire underneath the floor. You could use that for a little bit of extra storage if you needed to. So definitely very plentiful. One grab handle up top so you can quickly close that trunk lid there. Now, as we work our way to the back, the door panel is pretty simple, but we do have the white accents, which gives it a great look. Release handle, window adjustment, there's a speaker. Interesting to see no storage in the lower section of the door, however. But as we work our way to these back seats, you can easily lock those into place, where we have that same two-tone design, mainly on the sides, and the headrest is where you'll see some of the black accents. But as I hop into the back now, at 5'10", I really have a good amount of space. There's also storage pockets. You do get air vents right in the middle. A little bit of a bump here for your middle passenger, but you can make it work. And my head is just touching the headliner here. So it is on the smaller side, but I could ride around town, maybe go on a long road trip. I can slouch down just a little bit here and still be pretty much comfortable. So it's a practical sedan to put adults into the back. Now, you do have the armrest, where there's also the cup holders that pop out, so you can use those as needed. And then here's a look at visibility from the back. We got a pretty big pillar there, but the large windows definitely help with lighting and your overall visibility. Now, as we work our way to the front door, you'll notice more of the white accents, and then all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, and then you do get storage for the front doors. F Sport is also down on the door sill, and then you get a little bit more of the two-toned design with the inserts there. They are automatic, so all those adjustments are down on the side. And then we have a very nice perforated and solid leather steering wheel with the fsport badge down below. This has brushed aluminum for the paddle shifters. And then let's start this up and take a listen to that NA V6. And then coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll notice that the tach is right in the middle, along with miles per hour, what gear you're in. On the right side, there's your fuel and time. On the left side, there's the engine temperature. Now you can use the rotating or scrolling dials on the right side of the steering wheel to further go through information within the middle. So you can monitor all of this just depending on what you'd like to see. And then you can even push the tach over to the right side. So now you can scroll through some more information on the left, but you do have some added info that you can't view when the tach is in the middle. So like your settings here, where you can go through all of the standard safety features and turn those on and off and set them up the way that you would like to. And then you have some more with your G-force, your gear position, which you saw, some of the other vitals that were shown. But it's nice that you can scroll through that and then basically hide all of that away when you don't need to view it. Now those were all of those controls, and then we have the lane keeping assist along with your distance pacing. Cruise control is the stock down below. And then on the left side, you have volume tuning, mode, Bluetooth, and voice commands. Now on this left side, there's the automatic headlights along with a dimmer switch, some odometer settings. You have a trunk release and hood release. There's one air vent. We do have some leather on the dash, which is nice to see. And then for the infotainment system, it is a touchscreen system, so you can use it, of course, going through that, or you can use the trackpad down below. That's been in Lexus models for several years now. There's shortcuts like map and menu, and then you have a back button and the pad that you can use. So currently we are on the navigation, so you can see that moving while I use the trackpad. We can also click on menu now and get to some more of these icons. So you have audio, phone, you can get into apps. Projection is how you can pair your phone to the system. And then you have adjustments like climate, so you can further go through all of that information, as well as going back to menu where you have setup and you can further go through some of that general information. So it's a pretty easy system to use. It gives you quite a lot. And if you do go back to the map setting here, you'll notice over on the right side, we do have a split screen. So you can actually pull up information on that right side and still keep info over on the left side and then bring it up in full screen. Now there's a clock underneath that along with an air vent on both sides. And then we do have physical buttons for all the climates. So temperature dials are on both sides with this scrolling arrow. You have fan speed, where you like the air to go, defrosters as well. And then power and volume and tuning for your audio controls, as well as a CD player right in the middle with all of those adjustments. Now this F-Sport model also has heated and ventilated seats, as well as a heated steering wheel. So all of those are laid out very well. And then by putting this into reverse, you get the backup camera with two different angles there and the guidelines. And then you have drive, and you can shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters themselves. Now over on this right side, you have the auto hold as well as a snow mode, there's traction control, and then this rotary dial for the different driving modes. So when you twist that to the right, you can go into sport. If you twist it to the left, that is for eco, and then pushing on it will go into normal. You'll also notice it will change over on the infotainment system as well. Now there's two cup holders behind that. You do get a little bit of storage with a lot of auxiliaries in that armrest there. And then you have the glove box, which has plenty of space. Now there's garage door buttons up top, along with your dome lights, which are touch sensitive. And then we have the sunroof, manual adjusting sunshade, all the controls for the sunroof itself. And here's a look at visibility. Even with the size of that pillar, you can see over that right side, and then you can even glance over that left side as well. As we set up now behind the wheel for the IS350 F Sport, we've reviewed several of these in the past, and I wanted to review another one because this seems to be a very popular Lexus platform for a lot of car enthusiasts. This is a sedan that is going to be extremely reliable. Toyota and Lexus are #1, so I really don't have to tell you that. But we have that NA V6 that a lot of people truly like having for this vehicle. Now I will say my only drawback with it is that I do wish it had more power. You can go with the IS500, which has the V8, so that is the solution. If you want more power, you go with the 500. But for the 350 here, I think it's a well-balanced sedan. I will say it doesn't have too much on the performance side. For being the F Sport model, we have the suspension, of course, and then with a mild acceleration, we can get back up to speed. So it has the sporty characteristics without going kind of too crazy or going overboard with the performance. Now, again, you can go with the IS500 if you want just a little bit more in that bump in power. But if you own the IS350 or 500, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what your ownership experience has been like and why you chose to buy this sedan over some of its other competitors. In that lineup, we do have some BMW sedans, some Audi sedans that you can get too that may have a little bit more power to them. But I'm not trying to knock the Lexus here by any means. I think it's a really nice vehicle, and especially in a world where a lot of companies are going away from that NA engine. Lexus is doing that in some of their models, but so far these IS models are still retaining those engines. So I think that's what's really drawing people towards these models, is because they're not a turbo inline six or a twin turbo something or anything, a smaller engine, a 4-cylinder. You can get the IS300 now, which has the 4-cylinder option, but Lexus is still retaining the engine that a lot of buyers trust and a lot of buyers want to get. And I will say, we have been in the IS500. We were in a hot lap around a racetrack with it, and it was awesome. It performed so much better than my expectations, because for these reviews, you know, I'm just driving on normal city roads here. But even with this model here, I'm sure this would be fantastic. Once you get it in those higher RPMs, paddle shifters are going to be a little bit more responsive. You have a few different driving modes too. So this is a well-rounded, balanced sedan if you're looking for those sporty characteristics, a little bit of power, but you still want something that you don't have to worry about daily driving, something that you can just rack up tons of miles on and know that you are going to be in a pretty bulletproof car. It sounds pretty good too for the V6. So it's got a healthy exhaust note to it. And taking it on some of these twisties here, the handling seems very, very nice. So with that F-Sport suspension, it's going to give you, again, those amazing handling characteristics. This is also a car too that it doesn't have so much power, being rear-wheel drive, that it's not going to, you know, get out sideways or something like that. It's a well-balanced vehicle that if you're kind of new to some performance driving, this is a car that you can learn how to do all of that without worrying about having too much power. And in second gear, here we go. Shifts are also very quick too. They're also smooth, so even on the downshifts, you don't really feel it. For a vehicle like this, more on that luxury side, it's nice that you have a smooth driving transmission. It's not going to give you quite as much drama as some other sportier cars, but they're quick nonetheless, and just adds to more of that luxury vibe for this car. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the IS350 F Sport, as we take some of these turns here just at a normal speed for this road. It's super flat in these turns as well. So you can take this on some mountain drives, take it to the track, do some driving like that, and know that you are going to have a car that is going to handle these conditions well. With the IS500 that went around the Daytona track down in Florida, it was so amazing. Now, it had an aftermarket suspension. It was a little bit lower, so modifications like that can of course help. But even in the factory form, it's going to handle very well. It's also very quiet too, so it's going to give you a comfortable feel. And with the driving modes too, they are functional. So just depending on your throttle response, you can adjust those as needed. Brakes do a great job too. One downside I will say with this is its storage and its space. The IS500 is going to be a little bit larger, which is nice just depending on the size that you want, but it's still practical nonetheless for its smaller size. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Lexus IS350 F Sport. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sporty sedan for me today. Take a look at their website and give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.